Hi, everyone, and welcome to EdTech Tuesdays. Today, we're going to be learning about IXL Group Jam and TELPAS and how to use them together to be able to enhance your students' performance on the TELPAS test. With us today is our CIT and first grade teacher, Veronica Hernandez from Arnold Elementary with her expertise. Vero, take it away.
Hi, how is everyone doing? I'm going to go ahead and start. So our objective is by the end of this training, participants will be able to use IXL Classroom Jam for TELPAS to enhance student performance. The norms are to register for today's session. The session number is there. And to sign in with PSJA Tech, mute your mics and ask questions in the chat. Valentin will help me to moderate. And so here we go. Yeah. So IXL is a personalized learning, which with a comprehensive K-12 curriculum, individualized guidance, and real-time analytics, IXL meets the unique needs of each learner. And if you haven't set up your IXL account, I have the steps here to go to show you how to do it. I don't want to talk in detail about the steps because I want to get to the actual IXL because these trainings are not very long. So it's basically you sign into your Clever and then you go to your IXL and then you go ahead and you register, you pick your grade level, and and then from there your kids should already be in the IXL platform because the district does have that for us. And so I'll show you mine right now. So you can set goals and the kids get rewards. You can integrate IXL into your classroom routine. I use it during my learning centers for math and my learning centers for reading. And so my kids know that they have to pass 2 iReady lessons before they can use IXL, and then they have to pass 2 lessons in IXL for reading and for math. So that's how I guide my time in my learning centers, right? And then on Fridays or on Thursdays is when I'll do like activities, and the kids love to do the jam board. So they have a lot of fun doing that. And so I'll pick the skills that they've been struggling with, or I'll look at the magnetic skills that they've been struggling with, and I'll do the jam boards based off of whatever it is that they need from the math, the magnetic, or the reading. And so it provides feedback and it helps you support the students' learning. And then so I'm Veronica, and then there's Valentin. And then so let me go ahead and I'm going to stop sharing this so I can show you the actual IXL platform. So I'm going to exit out this and I'll go into IXL. So how to get there is you're going to go into your My Apps. You'll obviously go into Clever. And then once you're in Clever, you'll sign in with your teacher credentials, which are already set for us, which is neat. And then you'll look for your IXL. And then so you'll have your platform, and then it'll tell you exactly how much your students have done, the skills they've mastered, the skills they're proficient in, the skills that they practiced. My students have already done 85 skills this week, and it gives me my 244 hours. I just started assigning it for homework. So I can see there that my kids have had 18 hours and 34 minutes of usage at home. So I'm really excited about that. So they do like this platform a lot. And so I just want to show you, if you go into learning, this is where you're going to see science, social studies, you'll see the Spanish, you'll see the math, you'll see the English language arts. So you would go into skills if you want to assign skills. So if you have kids that are at a pre-K level based off of your iReady reports, you can come in here and then you can assign. As you can see, I've assigned some pre-K skills, and the ones that are in green means that my students have completed them. And so this is where I use it for tutoring. You can see the actual lesson, and then you can go through it with them as well. And then you can see It reads them the question, and then they have to decide which one is narrower. If they get it wrong, what I like most about the program is that it'll explain to them with why they got it wrong. So they'll listen to it again, and then they'll so they get a chance to fix their mistake, right? So I do like that about that. But it does this for the reading, the math, the science, and the social studies. So going into your, like, looking at all your different types of data that you get from your principals, whatever it is that they have you track, right? You can go ahead and you can look at also your English language art skills. And so you can assign kinder and you can assign first grade. And then there's also district spotlight. And so these are the ones that the district already has set aside for us. So they already have like your Sava Science. They have for the upper grades, you can do your Texas Instructional Knowledge and Skills for the science, right? And so you can follow those pathways. You just select your grade level. So if you're a first grade teacher, it'll take out the things that you don't need, and then it'll set pathways where you can actually assign from that area to your kids. And then there's also test preparation, which it shows you like STAR assessments for the upper grades that you could use to practice with the kids. And then there are some things that I can do as a first grade teacher to help support my students to introduce them to STAR. And so that's pretty neat as well. But I'm going to go ahead and show you the Jamboard that my kids, they love to do. They're like, when are we going to do a jam session? So you would come here to my IXL, right? And you go to group jam. And then so in group jam, you get to select your skills. So if I go down to English language arts, I can either do a skills plan, I can do what IXL has already seen that my kids are struggling in, and I can take their suggested skills, or I can go by grade. So right now I'm going to click suggested skills. And then so I would just pick, so they're giving me skills in science because my kids use it for across all subjects for social studies as well. So but you could do it like that, but I'll just go into English language arts. I'll just go into grades. I'll select first grade. And then let's say my kids are having problems with blending and segmenting. So what I'll do is blend and sound the words together. And then I'll do it by my group. I'll select my students. And then I start the group jam. And then so the kids will start joining it, and it pops up on their screen. So they just have to accept the group jam. So once they accept it, it reads it to them. And then they can listen to it again. And then they just hear, and then they select. And so if they get it wrong, it'll explain to them like how they got it wrong. Because I'm teacher, I can't show you student view, but all the students will pop up who's answered it, and it automatically shows you who got it right and who got it wrong. And then so I can move to the review. And so it'll tell me who got it wrong. So I'll show me correct, incorrect, and who didn't answer. And what I liked most is that if all my kids got it right, I can go harder. But if my kids got it wrong, I can stay same level, or I can choose to go easier. So it offers automatic tutorial as you're doing the group jam, which I really liked it, and my kids like it. And, we listen to it together and we're like, oh, I got it wrong for this reason. So it's automatic feedback. So you end your jam session, and then the jam session ends. So I'm going to end it. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if I'm going too fast. No questions?
No, I don't see any questions.
Okay. So if I go
You
to
are
IX,
explaining really good, Miss Vero. Thank you very much.
oh, you're welcome. So if I need to remember how to get into the TELPAS because I'm not bilingual anymore. So I forgot how I found it and I shared it with my teachers and then since I don't use it, I forgot. So I think it's in the, if we go to the skill plans and I go to the Texas State Standards and I think it's going to be in here, the TELPAS. I just have to find it. There's the Eureka, but ours is Blue Bonnet now. Let me see. Let me see if I can find it under Spanish language arts. I'm getting nervous.
You're you're good.
You're doing so good, Miss Vero. Thank you very much for everything.
You're welcome. It's like when you want to find it, then you can't find it, right? And when you don't want to find it, you find it. I scroll.
Mm.
Try under test prep. Telpas. Found it. So it's under test prep. Yay. Okay. So what you do is we come here to skill plans. You go to test prep. And then in test prep, you're going to scroll down to the Telpas. So it's right here, Telpas. And then so there's for reading, second, third, fourth through fifth, all the way to 12th grade, and for the writing. So we're going to obviously click for the reading. And then so I would assign it. So here I would have to choose the letters that you hear, frequently confused letters. So depending on the skill, so some of these skills that they're doing in Telpas are skills that I've assigned to my students and they've already completed. So it's to help them with their English and to help them get better at identifying or communicating in English. So like here they're focusing on word match. In the picture, the boy looks sad. So it helps with the vocabulary. So if they don't know like that much English, it helps them, I guess, to become more familiar with the language. So my second grade teacher, Miss Gonzalez, she's really like using it. She says her kids are doing better because they're like, oh, that's how you say this. That's how you do that. So she's enjoyed it. So my kids are getting the telpas without even knowing that I was doing the telpas. I find that interesting that they are incorporating skills that my kids are already doing into the telpas. But you would just pick it and then nouns because in Spanish there's sustantivos, verbos, adjetivos. So here they know that and then so they have to decide it's an apple, person, animal, place, or thing. And so they decide if it's a thing, if it's a place. So if they pick animal and they submit, and they get it wrong, then it goes here into the automatic tutor. And then so it explains to them, and then it gives them the actual answer. And then it's automatic tutoring. So they don't have to come and bother you at your teacher center. Oh, teacher, I got it wrong. It's automatically explaining to them why they got it wrong. And then so that's basically the gist of IXL. I'm really enjoying it. My students enjoy it. As far as like reports go, like if you wanted to use reports for the students, you can go to students dashboard under my Excel, and then I can click on my student. So my internet is slow. So I'm gonna choose my Jonathan because he's done the most amount of lessons, and he's my GT student. So I can look at him, and then I can see all of his lessons that he's done. He's answered 796 questions and 577 questions from his average weekly. He's mastered 55 skills. And so it'll show me what he's gotten. He's mastered some kinder skills that I assigned, and then I can see all of his awards that he's earned. And the kids, they like it because they get to open it up, so they get to click on it, and then they get to see what award and what medal they have. And then so then he would go back to practice more. But I think it's pretty neat, and it reinforces the learning, and it does it in a fun way for them. And it's not like 20 questions, it's just a few questions, and I think it's like 5 or 6 questions, and they move on to the next lesson. So I can see his recent skills, what he's worked on, and I like that as well. So I always know where they're at and what they're doing. And so it'll tell me he did this 4 days ago, he did this 6 days ago, he did this one yesterday about the cactus. And so he did this one yesterday on the measurement, and he practiced this reading one 4 days ago. So it lets me know exactly where they're at. And then it tells me where he struggled. And so he struggled with certain questions, and then he can retry it to help him master it. So it's like tutoring for him, and they don't have to talk to like a chat bot, so to speak, because they're younger. And so they just click, they're just little clicks away from getting what the information that they need, and then they don't have to bother you either, or come and interfere with what you're doing, because they already have like an assistant helping them. And that's basically the program in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you try it out and message me through Teams and let me know how it went, and see if you can incorporate it into your day or into your rotations.
Veronica, we do have one question, and I
Yes.
think the TELPAS kind of does support it, but is there any literature available to support English language learning in each grade level that you know of, besides the TELPAS maybe?
So basically, if I were to go back into resources, they do have a learning hub, and in that learning hub, there's like different little readers and things. They have for math, have it for language arts. They have little spotlights. Let me go back and share it. Share.
Ever wanted to change someone's mind?
So can y'all see the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So here they have like spotlight in language arts. They have spotlight in math, winter adventures. So they have different little but it all goes back to the skill. So if I've already assigned the skill, then that skill is already done, right? So but if you want like reading passages, I haven't seen that, to be quite honest, in the lower grades. So if I go here to see my reading in my first grade, it's going over the consonants, the rhyming, the short I, the short O. It's mainly going over the phonics component. But here they have decodable text, so they can read short stories. And I don't know if this is what they're looking for, where they can read the short story. So they can hear it one time and then they can practice reading it by themselves. And then they have the comprehension to ask the questions. I don't know if that's something of what they were looking for.
Yeah, I think that is answered Miss Sotelo's question. Thank you.
Yes. So it's just, I myself, I'm still learning a lot of things about it, but I always just go, and it's easy to click the buttons because you can't mess it up. It's a website. And so, so you just go and see all the skills, and then you can see all the skills of where you're at. So I've been using it a lot, but they have games also for the kids that they can play. So once they've gone to their 2 iReady lessons and they've done their 2 IXL lessons, and they get to come and play like the games. So this is like kinder, but they do have games for first grade. They do have games at the bottom for the kids that they can practice as well. They have spelling practice, story maker. That's on ABC. Yeah. So it pulls from different resources to keep them engaged that go with what they're focusing on. But yeah, so you get the verb tenses, the nouns. So like if you're looking for a quick grade in grammar, you haven't had time to teach it, you can assign it and take a grade from IXL because you assign it to all the kids and they all do it. You know, so plural nouns, making contractions, and so conjunction, so preposition. So I really like it because it helps fill in those little gaps, because sometimes our grammar lessons are very quick. And then you can come over here and say, okay, hey, you're still confused on verbs. Well, let me give you, these are the action verbs, and let me assign it. You know, I'm focused right now on getting my kids to read because I have a lot of non-readers. So my focus is more, I assigned the kinder skills, going over like the short O's and things like that, things I don't have time to go over, or things that I might have touched on during magnetic that the kids can go back and review. It helps to enforce that. So I'm focusing on like blending and things like that. So but yes, there's something for everybody. They do have little decodable text that I did assign to my kids here, and they've all completed um the little story. But oh, real quick to add on is that you can actually see how many of your kids have completed the lesson. So I can actually look at if I click the green, it'll tell me it's one question, and it'll tell me my student that I assigned it to and who practiced it. So that I like also. So you can actually print this out and say, okay, your son is struggling. This is what he's struggling with, or this is what she's struggling with. And this is to show you that I'm helping with remediation. I'm helping for tutoring to encourage, like, to see how they're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's also what I like as well, is that you can actually see that. So it just has so much. I just covered what I felt was most important, but always it's, the more you use it, the more you'll learn from it. So that's the only thing that I can say is to use it. And so I think there's a competition or something, because my kids say that we're in 5th place. Or no, we're in 5th place in the whole campus. So they're really excited because they're like, I want to get to 3rd place, Miss. I want to beat, you know, whoever's ahead of us. So I think that's also neat too, that we can see the usage in the whole school. So their screen looks a little different than ours, and then it gives them a graph, and it shows them like where they are and how good they're doing. So I don't know how to get to a student view. I just know how to do the teacher view. So I do apologize for that. But I don't know if there's any other questions.
No, I think that's it. Great job. Thank you, everyone. Let me do a quick little raffle. Hold on. I had it ready here. Let's see, he's going to be our little winner.
Veronica, do you know if you can print out any of the decodable books? We had that question in the chat.
I can check for you right now.
Here we go. Out of the 2, who's going to be the winner of the door prize? Rose Nino. Wow, congratulations. We'll be sending you a door prize shortly. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for attending.
Thank you. You can do a print screen and it'll print the little story with the question. So you